Right, just another little one on my Amanco Hired Man restoration. It was running all right, and then it just kept stalling. So at the moment, I've got the carburetor off. That's in the sonic bath at the moment. But they're a basic carburetor. There's not too much to them. When I get out the sonic bath, I'll do a few pictures of it. But there's not too much to it. I've started sanding it down while I went over the black. Black was easy. I had the black on, so I've painted the black. I had a go at getting, this is all complete rust. I've got to get something like more like wire wool to get in, because I've gone with some heavy sandpaper while it was running and just hold it on. It started getting hot, to be honest. But so I've got a lot of it off. So from a distance, yeah, it looks all right. When you get close to it, there's little scratches. So I want to get them out. So I'll use a little bit of polish. I've cleaned the magneto, but I didn't want to polish it. I wanted that to look like period old. You know, I didn't want it to look polished. On the other hand, the band over the top, I just wanted to, I'm going to take it off and polish it, but I wanted to see how it come up, and actually it's coming up really nice. So I'm going to take that off, polish it off properly, and then I'm going to do the same with the oiler. So that's going to come out in a minute. I'll empty it of oil, I'll give it a proper clean, and then I'm going to polish it like this with this brass. It'll come up nice. I'll probably polish the, I'm not sure about polishing that, but yeah, I'll probably polish the number plate. And I've started sanding this. You can see how many reds there is. Yeah, I've got the badges. I have to say, I'm really pleased with this machine. Really pleased with it. The technology is so simple that I think, well, it can't be too much wrong with that. With the carburetor, it's literally a screw with a point on the end, and that's it. You know, so, but it is worn. So I might see if I can find a new one. There must be someone making them. I'll show you that in a minute when it's out the sonic bath and clean. I know a lot of them. I've looked on some of the forums and they're saying about this check valve. I think this check valve is doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah, when the engine's sucking, it lets the fuel out. Because that fuel is higher than that level, and it's not just dripping out. I know the check valve is probably to stop it dripping back in once it's sucked up there, but I think it's doing what it's supposed to do. I've had it apart, and there is a bearing in there. But yeah, it was easy to paint the black. I mean, painting it is not just decorative; it's just to protect it as well. You can see all these pit marks. That's where it's rusted over the years. So it still needs a proper clean, but I've filled it up with grease. All these oilers, they're going to come off polished up. I mean, the ones I've seen have been brass, but these look like they're steel. These are rusty, so I don't think my ones are brass. But they work. I've got the grease there. The grease there. I've just screwed that one down and just pushed that grease out. What I'm surprised with is, apart from the combustion explosion, it's not noisy. You get out the exhaust, but the mechanical noise, I've heard them. The mechanical noise can be dampened down with a decent grease. I did read about putting a thick grease on these, and that's what it's got. And I'll do that every time. You can see it drops down. You can see it down there, look. See the grease? I'm not sure if that's coming. That's probably coming out when I squeeze this the first time. It's just pushed it out. But I've got the restoration manual. It's pretty good, and it tells you how to test things. And I think this is a good engine. There's no movement on these bearings or that big end. Absolutely no movement at all. The crank guard is original. That's the original as well. Some of them have got made up ones. I think overall, I bought a good one. I love the size of that piston. Look at the size of that bloody piston. Huge, absolutely huge. I've seen videos of people spinning them over with the without the handle, just standing behind and spinning them over. Well, you won't spin that one over. There's so much compression there. I very much doubt that it had much more compression when it was new, because it's really high compression, and that sort of confirms to me that the bores and the piston, all that side of it's good. I've started to learn a little bit about them. This is a water cooled head, because some of them have got fins, air cooled. This one's only got it's got the water cooled head, so that's probably later. And it's got this, they call it a gooseneck. Some have got little bar comes out to trigger the igniter. The spring looks pretty good as well. It's a decent spring on there. I've seen these for sale on eBay. And there's a little oiler under there, what I've just noticed, for oiling the bearing in the magneto. Didn't know that was there. I'm gonna have this rod out, give it a clean up. That'll clean up nice. I'll go through it bit by bit, but because I'm working on other engines, I'll just do a bit of it, bit at a time. A lot of it is just so it's not going to go more rusty. But yeah, it's only a little update, but I'm pleased with this. I'm waiting for the paint to arrive, and then I'm going to give it more of a sand down and start. Well, it's enamel. It's enamel. It's got some markings on there. I don't know what they mean. As I read more, I'll probably discover that. But looks like EWV. I know there's Waterloo in the title of the manufacturing, so that could be something to do with Waterloo. I've seen that somewhere else as well. What we've got here? It says something BK, or just BK. ABK. Looks like ABK. Oh, looks like a V upside down, but let's have a look at the other side. Oh yeah, ABK. So I don't know what that means, but oh, in the manual, in the restoration manual, it says that this is the most easiest one to manage, and I agree with that, because the restoration manual has got a picture of the hired man next to the free mule team, and considering this is 2.25 horsepower and the free mule team is 3 horsepower, the free mule team is a much bigger beast. Flywheel is much bigger, and I've got to convert this to so that the front wheels turn, because these don't turn. It'd be much easier if they turn, so I've got to convert that. But this is as heavy as I can push about. I couldn't push anything heavier than this about. Well, the ground out here is uneven anyway. I just put some old sheets of ply down there last year or the year before, and it's just rotted away. But it's not flat here. So if you had a flat surface, nice driveway, yeah, you might be able to push something heavier around. But on this surface, this is as much as I can manage to move around. But as a marks out of 10, how pleased I am with this machine. Really pleased. Marks, yeah, really. I've got to get it running. I want it running like a Swiss watch, but yeah, so far so good. I'm really pleased with it. I'll put a few pictures on in a minute, because I've just heard that I can hear the sonic baths switched off. So I'm going to take that lot out there and give it a clean up. I'll show you the screw for the carburetor. In the manual they call it a mixer. Air and fuel mixture, that's all it is. But it's quite basic. It's not got any air screws or anything. It's one screw. no air screws or anything like that, like a car or a motorbike. Yeah, but pleased with the engine. I was fiddling with the lister today as well, just to get that going, but because I've got the Amanco 4-hole lister, I ain't had much attention this week, but that one starts up straight away. So I will get back round to it and put them, it wants another coat of paint and the badges, which I've got all of that. It's just having the time now, especially as I'm going away soon for a little while. But yeah, I'll leave that there. It was just a little update, but I'm very pleased with the engine. I'll probably say now that someone helped me, give me some advice on. Before I bought this, I was only into my little steam engines and me hit and miss engines, the small ones, the toy, you know, the little Chinese ones. I was into them and my steam engines, all them little model engines. And then I saw online the lister model come out, and that was a third of the price of what the lister models are. So I thought I'd get a real one, and this was I don't know, 3 or 4 miles from me. Went and picked it up. They started it up on the drive while I was there, loaded it in a van and brought it home. So I won't be buying a model, I've got a real thing. But I didn't know anything about these, and a friend of mine on one of the groups, you know who you are, in fact I'll say it's Gary Miller. He's really helped me, because I didn't know anything about these, and I took photos, and he said, Rick, you're going to need that, you're going to need that, this goes there, that goes there. I know about engines, I know how engines work, but Gary knew what model this was. He said to me, you're going to need this tap, you're going to need that, there was this greaser, what was missing. Yeah, I didn't know all them things. And then when I said to Gary, I want to get myself a hit and miss engine, I sent him a photo of another Amanco, and I was about to hit the buy it now button, and it was a stationary engine one. It weren't a hit and miss. I said, Gary, what do you think of this one? He said, that's not a hit and miss, it's still a hired hand, but it's the stationary one. He had the paraffin petrol tank, and it had the barrel along the back, and there's something I didn't know about. So that was he helped me. And there was another model, I think it was a little jumbo. I looked at a little jumbo. I was thinking about that, and Gary said to me, look, with your Amanco, you'll probably get your parts more. They're more common, you know, as a first hit and miss engine. I think he said he had one before. So yeah, Gary, big thank you for your advice along the way, because I am really pleased with these engines, and I probably would have done something wrong if I'd have had the phone calls from you. So anyway guys, I'm going to leave that there, and I'll do an update in a minute with pictures of the mixer and parts. I'll leave it there. Cheers guys. Right, before I fit it all back on, I connected it all up, and I blew through the other side while adjusting this valve, and this valve closes it off. And despite how worn that tip was, it did vary it very finely, and I did have it running before, so I'll put it back on for now. You'll see I've got fuel coming out. It's not firing at the moment. Then I just took a look at thinking about a spark. This was just pressed in there. It didn't look very. This is a magneto lead. So I started thinking about a spark. It weren't even firing. And what I'm going to do is clean this up. It was just pushed in there, and this just clips in. and I don't think that was good enough. So I'm going to clean all this up, clean that up, and try and get it in there nice and firm. I'm going to clean these up. I don't think it's terrible, but cleaning it up a little bit, it's not going to hurt. Cleaning it up a little bit is not going to hurt, so that's going to be my next job. But yeah, clean this up, clean that up. It looks like they just push in there. There's no screws or nuts. You would have thought there'd been a little nut and bolt to hold that in, but all there is a little clip. You can't really see it, there's no camera. Just see that at the bottom. It's a little clip. So as you push that in, it just clips in. But it's not clipping in properly. I'm going to clean it all up and give it another bash. So watch this space. Right, so the next thing I'm looking at to make sure I've got it running nicely is the igniter. There's not too much to these. 2 bolts hold it on, so straightforward enough. And this has now been cleaned, but it was absolutely black. It was covered in carbon. This is effectively your set of points. So your bar moves along, flicks here. When it flicks there, this is what happens. And that sparks. It's a low tension, so it's just a spark there. So no spark plug. This is effectively a set of points. It's like having a set of points actually inside the combustion chamber. So that's what it did. So all I did was get a little tiny bit of sandpaper, get it in there, clean it up. I don't think it needs any more than that, as long as them 2 surfaces are clean. But it was carboned up. I made a mistake the other day. So what I did, I'll show you in a minute. In fact, I go out there now. Right, so what I did, when I finished running it, I've been practicing on this just to see if it would come up. But I left this in the down position, and when I come out the next morning, all this oil was gone. So what had happened is, all that oil had slipped down in the piston, gone into combustion chamber. So when I tried to run it, it fired a few times, but it was firing up a load of oil. So the igniter got coated up in soot, and it's been coughing and spluttering today. It's been trying, but it has not had a clean surfaces to make a good contact. So this is where it goes. Straightforward enough. When I got it, it had one gasket on there, and it looked good because it was metal with fibre in between. So I left that on, put a new gasket on as well, so there was 2 gaskets on there. Originally, when I was turning it over, I could hear air coming out of here, and it was turning over quite easy. There was no compression. When I put the second gasket on and tightened it all up, it's only a couple of bolts, a couple of nuts. This bolts to bolts to there, to the arm, and that's the job done. But when I bolted it back on, nice and tight, God, the compression was really good, really good. Much better, as good as what it would have been from new. So, such a straightforward technology, so straightforward. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time. I'm not stripping it down like some people do and clean it all and put it all back together. I'm working on other things as well. But so I took this off to spin the flywheel to test the spark, and I was getting a bit of a spark there. So I'm convinced the magneto was okay. What I did, got it now. What I did to turn it over myself, so it would turn over easy now, because obviously I've got that out, so there's no compression anyway. But when this was all together, I put a little block of wood in there just to hold that intake valve in, and that decompressed it. And while that was decompressed, I could turn the flywheel over on my own, one-handed, while I was holding this, and I could see the spark, so I knew the spark was okay. So that should be that. So carburetor's been done today, igniter's been done today. I know I've got a spark, so that should be it. Let's go back in here. The only problem I've got is I like doing this during the day when the neighbours are at work, because they do make a little bit of noise. I don't like to upset neighbours, and all the neighbours are at home now, so I won't be testing it today, and then tomorrow I'm going away for a few days, so all my hard-earned work I can't test at the moment. Yeah, so there's a little clip in there, just a little clip in there. You push that in. That clip's bent up at the moment to get it out, but you just bend it down and that holds it in, and your magneto wire just sits in there. Anyway, that's a little bit more information. Catch you later, guys.